What is up, guys? Welcome back to Coltown. Today we're going to be going over replays from my subscribers, actually. So I made and I'm not surprised if you didn't see it, but I made a YouTube community post, and I invited subscribers to join, share a replay, and then leave so that I could watch the replay, tell them the mistakes they made, and help them get better, and help you guys get better by watching their replays. If you want to participate this in the future, my suggestion is either get really lucky or turn on my YouTube notifications, because I made a community post and it was up for like 25-30 minutes, and then I already had 7 people. 6 people, and yeah, so we're gonna go over the replays. Let me know if you guys like this kind of content, if you learned something from it, and then turn on those notifications if you want to participate yourself. All right, so first we're gonna go with Arctic Breeze's replay. I believe this is ladder. Arctic Breeze is an expo player, and he's playing versus a deck with like Sparky, quite a few ground units, some fireball bait, and let's see how Arctic Breeze starts off the game. So I think cycling Ice Spirit at the bridge is fine. Then he goes Ice Golem in the back. All that is good and dandy so far. That is kind of tough for him in this situation. I honestly don't dislike the defensive Exo because he didn't have like anything else to play. He could have like cycled Log maybe and gone Archers, but I don't know. I think the defensive Expo wasn't that bad. Here he should quickly fireball that and try to hit the Sparky too. Okay, not bad. I don't know about, so the only thing right there. Okay, so he could have logged that quicker. And then those archers, you didn't even need them. You didn't need them to get shot by the Sparky, because you could have just played them in the back almost, or just play them low, because that Sparky wasn't going to get shot in tower, especially if you end up logging the Witch. Like, there was no need for those archers to die and that 3 elixir immediately to get no value whatsoever. So could have played those differently. That Ice Golem's too high. That Megaknight's not even going to cross the bridge before it hits it. That should have been like against his King Tower. The preemptive Tesla wasn't necessary. You're not at 10 yet. You might as well just wait and see what else he does. Anyway, look, like everything is way too high. Like he could have played that much lower. The Ice Golem and Archers could have been enough to counter it maybe. At that point, he kind of did have the Fireball, but it's unfortunate that you have the Fireball that the Dark Prince and the Wizard there when you need to hold it for his minion horde. All things considered, though, still not slightly behind the elixir, but yeah, just that Ice Golem was, you gotta get used to that timing. The Ice Golem was basically 2 elixir that was wasted because it went too high. So that Ice Golem should have been played like against his King Tower, so that it took longer, like in front of the King Tower. I don't know, honestly. So these defensive expos actually are pretty good because his opponent doesn't have a big spell, and it means he can't punish it really. So I don't disagree with the defensive expos. Once again, he's playing stuff too high. Like this is going to, I think one of the archers is even going to get hit. Yeah, it's just too high. Just play this stuff lower, and you're gonna and you'll get a lot more value out of it. So his placements are definitely hurting him here. Like he could be getting elixir leads on these defenses, but he's not because he's playing stuff too high. I don't hate the offensive expo when you already have a defensive down. He should have blocked those that Megaknight with an Ice Golem to keep his archers alive and DPSing, and then he plays his Tesla on top of the Megaknight and it gets splash on it. Those are just kind of like misplaced micro like bad micro placements, I guess. He needs to log this and then archers, or do both. Yeah, I mean he needs to do both, but the order that was good there. But basically he just defended that. He needs to use his Ice Golem to protect things better. He's like cycling them too high. Once again, it sucks he has to use Fireball there. Kind of a bad wizard by his opponent, though. He's going to have to log and then quickly place Skellies. Yeah, it was kind of hard, honestly. But his opponent has no direct damage, so this game is not lost yet. I mean, he's been, like, yeah, I know, you can't. That Ice Golem should have been used to kite everything towards the Tesla. That's another thing. He plays his Ice Golems. He almost won that. That was so close, actually. If he had used the Ice Golem there to kite everything towards the Tesla instead of, he keeps on using his Ice Golem like directly on top of things or placing it too high. If he saves his Ice Golem, uses it to kite things when he can, and uses it just lower a lot of the times, he would definitely have won this game. The defensive expos were good though. They were good because his opponent didn't have a way to punish them. So the defensive expos were pretty value. Anyway, moving on to the next one. This one is actually my mom. I told her I wanted I wanted to make fun of her, so I told her to share a replay. Yeah, so this is my mom. She also helped me make my video before. That is an aggressive start by her opponent. To be honest, she should be playing Musketeer here. To be honest, there was nothing she could do there to keep it from connecting, but she could have played her. It would have. Okay, so this is a bit aggressive. She's not really that far ahead, so I don't know that I like her going at the bridge there with her counter pushing Inferno Dragon. Like she's actually down in elixir. Okay, so in this, once again, I'm seeing a comment. I don't like that poison by her opponent, and that Barbara was unnecessary. She's at no elixir. She needs to wait. But a common theme I'm seeing with people. Okay, and she's at 0 elixir. She's playing a Skarmy at the bridge. Not the best play. She should be waiting. Okay, so like a big thing I see, yeah, for sure, is don't fireball that. Dear God, no go. Yeah, so she is super far behind in elixir. You need to just wait to hit 10 sometimes and play things lower. Take advantage of your towers and don't attack when you don't have an elixir advantage. And even if you like can't count elixir that well and you don't know whether you're up or down, if you're attacking when your opponent has a defensive troop on the field and you're going to 0 when you're playing that thing at the bridge, the odds are you shouldn't be doing it. So just a thing that I commonly see is like, don't play your troops as high as you are, and then don't spam too much when you're at low elixir. Like, wait, let things come to you. Take advantage of your towers a lot of the times. Here's a giant Prince Bush finally, and it is pretty strong against her opponent's hand. These bets are going in front. She can surround with. She should surround with Skarmy there. You don't want to let the Megaknight jump, obviously. Not that bad though. The other thing is you want to keep a ground counter. Barbaro just has to be thrown faster there. That's difficult though. I don't blame her on that one. Maybe didn't need to use Inferno Drag. She needs to set up a giant push. Yeah, and not going Prince at the bridge. You can't attack with offensive units like that. And then the Musketeer is played into a ground unit. That was just not good. I would say those are big tips. Well, and then like establishing a push, like a giant push, and not going with your support units aggressively so much, like the Skarmy at the bridge and the Princes at the bridge. Sometimes it can work as a punish play, but it's very specific scenarios. All right, so here's a Golem player versus a giant deck. I think these are both max players, so this is even gameplay and everything. I don't hate the. Oh, 1 second. Let me go back real quick. If that Baby Dragon was played before the Giant, that was a misplay. With Golem, you're always waiting. Don't make the first play. If anything, with that first play, you're using your Zap to cycle to your pump. Let me check. That he played that Baby Dragon at the same time. He didn't play it after. If it was after, it would have been okay, but no, don't make the first play. Don't play something when you hit 10. Wait. You need to wait. Oof, it is really rough to play a. Your hand was awkward, but like. Well, okay, so let me pause this real quick and talk quickly. So the things are, if you had waited, he plays the Giant, you Golem same lane in the back. Now that Baby Dragon basically dies for free. See how little HP that Baby Dragon took off for the Giant? That means you used 4 elixir, it died and accomplished no value whatsoever. You were down 4 elixir with a Giant coming towards your tower. You cannot pump up. Like, you're just too, you don't pump up when you're down. And it's going to be hard for you to defend this because you are down 10 elixir basically. There are very little, there's not a good chance that you can successfully defend something when you're down 10 elixir. At this point, he would need to go like, he could have gone Lumberjack, or he just Golems in the back, I guess. Honestly, I don't hate that he just Golems here. Okay, he's leaking. He leaked to like 1 or 2 elixir there. I don't hate the Golem, and the poison's out of cycle, so you're going to want to go Night Witch. The timing with Night Witch is you play it behind your King Tower after the Golem passes in front of the Crown Tower. So he should be playing his Night Witch right now. He played it a little bit late. It should have been played earlier, because it's also going to take forever to get to the Golem and help now. That Night Witch should have been played like 2 seconds earlier, probably. Which would, there would be 2 more bats 2 seconds earlier. His Night Witch would be hitting that Giant 2 seconds earlier. It seems like a little thing, but it makes a big difference. At this point, he baited out the poison because his opponent cycled back to it. He should be pumping up behind a strong tower. So as soon as he hits 10, he can let that go or zap it, his decision, but he should pump up when it gets to 10 and behind his strong tower. That he should be pumping. He should be pumping. The big spell was out of cycle. He should have pumped right there. At this point, he doesn't have time to pump, so he should Golem. He should just Golem in the back. Okay, that's good. And then you're gonna want to do that same timing on the Night Witch. I mean, you can maybe even play it a little bit early. I mean, it wouldn't matter because the Giant's already gonna catch the bats. It's not gonna get shot by the tower. The bats timing, I was saying is the bats won't get shot by tower. They'll stay behind Golem if you time it the way I said. Right here, he probably shouldn't have stacked that many troops. No, you're giving too much poison value. You want to wait for the poison and then play your troops. Or if they don't poison, that's fine because Night Witch will get value. And then you can just re-goal them. But he stacked too many troops into a poison there. He needed to wait and play those after. Or play things so far behind that you can like play another Golem at the bridge or something. It just depends on what your opponent does. Alright, so yeah, it's just some of those fundamental things I said with like Golem. Taking advantage, not pumping at the wrong time, pumping at the right time. So his mainly like Golem pump's not that popular anymore, but the main thing that held him back in those games were when he pumped and when he didn't pump. They both hurt him. Alright. Alright, moving on to Spectre. Spectre is playing Hog 2.6. So he's going to want to start out by cycling his log, or he can go Musketeer since his opponent made the first play and played Archers. Normally you don't start the game with Musketeer in the back, but if they play something, you can play a Musketeer into that lane. So right here, you're going to be playing, that is the correct cannon placement. His opponent can't lightning both. He should be distracting this Archer. He should have Ice Spirited that Archer before it locked on a tower. I don't hate the Hog. He just took a lot of damage to start there. He should have protected himself from the Archer. He could have Ice Golem. He needed to do more because his opponent did make the correct play. When you're playing RG versus Hog 2.6, you want to lightning the Musketeer, not the cannon. But the 2.6 player should have either Ice Spirited Skeletons right away to get extra DPS down on the RG and to protect the cannon and make it live longer. Like if you freeze the Archer and the cannon there and the RG, I don't like the Ice Golem at the bridge. His lightning's out of cycle. This is kind of over aggressive. Well, okay, so that's not terrible though because he punished the Hog. I feel like he Ice Golem before that though, so I don't know. Maybe that could have been lower. Overall, it's not terrible, but he is down Elixir now with a full HP Furnace up, so he's basically down like 4. Actually, he's down like 5. Well, let's say 4 because there's a lot of the duration down. So that's kind of aggressive. You do want to punish that Furnace placement, but I would have started like a Musketeer low against the Furnace before I would have like Ice Golem at the bridge and cycled that aggressively. Here, this is a good cycle. It's good for him to go back to Hawk here. The only problem with it is he's down in Elixir, so he's going to be even further down when he's cycling this aggressively. His opponent made the right play. So he needs a cannon there and needs immediately put down his skeletons and then Musketeer against the wall. I don't know if I like that placement, but the defense is basically fundamentally like correct. But that Musketeer should be more like against the wall. And then he should hog opposite lane here. That Hog should have been opposite lane. One, you have more damage on the other side anyway, but he's already gonna guards that Musketeer. You're just giving him more value by putting a Hog into it as well, I would say. Although this is a difficult matchup, so I'm just saying what he could potentially do better. I think hogging opposite lane was better there because you give him guards and Ewiz on top of everything, so he gets more value there. Sometimes it's better to go same lane, but since he already had a ton of damage on the other side, I think it would probably be better if he had kept Hog the other side. Ooh, he almost comes back here though. Oh wow, that was... Ooh, that's rough. I took a lot of damage on that push. He almost survived. Yeah, mainly I would say he needed to be more aggressive, like on the defense. Like he needs to understand that he's probably gonna get lightninged, and then just start DPSing / freezing the RG to make sure it dies without getting damage. And then sometimes he was kind of like over aggressively cycling. Obviously, it's better to do that in double than it is in single, because in single you'll get punished for the elixir difference, which he did. He lost his tower on the next push. But in double, it's better to do that than it is in single. And then just don't offensive musketeer. He musketeered really high. Only do that if you can snipe the furnace. Don't do it otherwise. He should have like furnace low against it and then cycled to a hog. The furnace isn't. He's not getting to another furnace before you get to a hog anyway, so there's no reason to rush and attack the bridge immediately. Alright, so we're going to another one. Here is Scoot. Scoot is playing Graveyard versus Balloon Freeze. Sets up a tombstone, that's fine. I like the bar barrel. It gives pressure, extra pressure because of the skeletons too. He should be ice whizzing back left corner. He does. You have to Valk one side or the other. Yeah, that's fine. Wait till you're at 10 and then... Oh, never mind. So right here he should... It's kind of an awkward hand, honestly. He should... I mean, he needs a baby NATO. Or he can NATO everything to the left and then play another tombstone. But yeah, he needs to combine 2 cards here because that's really aggressive by his opponent. I don't hate this. Yeah, NATO, and then that was pretty good, honestly. He may want to do a second tombstone. Oh, he messes it up. He should have played that earlier. That was all. He gets good chip though. I don't know if that bar barrel was necessary. I don't feel like looking back to see. I'm pretty sure it wasn't though, because he had tombstone up and the tower was going to take down. Those are both low HP. I would have cycled Valk probably, because you want to keep the Ice Wizard and cycle for Balloon. I would have cycled the Valk first, I think. It's better to... Yeah, this is a bit aggressive. You aren't really up. And Graveyard is a counter push deck. You don't really want to attack at the bridge when he already has a unit down and you're not up. They're just even, basically. And now the Balloon player has a counter push that he can loon with, and now you have to defend at low elixir. So I don't like that. He should activate King Tower here. NATO that to King. No, that should have been a King Tower activation. From Tombstone, it's super easy to just NATO it straight into King. That should have been a King Tower activation. I mean, this is good though. Like he's okay playing into one lane. It kind of gives him an advantage. He just needs to... That was an aggressive NATO. That was fine. He needs to play Ice was high and then NATO it back here. I mean, he doesn't know his opponent has freeze, but that Ice Wish should have been played like higher in the middle to space out units. Because even if they have Fireball, you want to space things out. If that freeze hadn't hit the Ice Wish, which it didn't have to, he would have defended that without taking a hit. And he should have already had King Tower activated earlier. He still almost won. Graveyard's better at better times. Like, you want to defend a loon first and then Graveyard with that counter push. That's when you can be aggressive, play things at the bridge and then Graveyard. You don't want to just do it for no reason when he already has a unit that'll be able to defend in that lane. Sometimes you do it if they play like a Pekka, something that like is really bad versus the Graveyard, but Ice Wiz isn't that bad and it's not expensive either. So attacking into him, and single elixir especially, was not that effective there. And then Royalty says he has a YouTube channel, Royalty OP. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do so. Alright, so Shake. I don't know. Sorry if I pronounce that incorrectly. So he's playing the Megaknight bait deck versus Graveyard with a lot of bait, with a lot of AoE, area of effect damage, splash damage. So this is somewhat of a difficult matchup. But we'll see what he does. The Inferno Dragon. This is really aggressive by his opponent. This is pretty punishable. I think he should use Skeleton Barrel here to kite. He kind of got lucky that didn't hit, but he should have used... I thought instead of Goblin Game there, I mean, that wasn't bad. He should, like... Okay, Skeleton Barrel, the bridge is fine. He should have almost used Skelly Barrel to kite there, I think. I don't know. It wasn't that bad, though. They have NATO. Don't mind her in the back. I disagree with his opponent's play there. His opponent should have NATO'd that miner, and then Bowler would have taken care of the Skeleton Barrel. Maybe he would have taken a little bit more damage than he did, but he should have... Don't miner in the back. Especially this early in the game, don't miner in the back. with your deck versus theirs, because you know they have NATO, they have Xe. He needs to either miner that or like snowball it. He needs to snowball it. He needs to snowball it. Okay, those aren't bad spirit gobs. He cycled to the spirit gobs. I was thinking he was going to defend the Xe first, but that wasn't bad at all. He actually is in a very good position in this game. I almost feel like if you don't think you're up there, you almost want to wait. I don't know why his opponent played his bowler into the Inferno Dragon. He should have played it other lane. This is fine. Okay, so he's going to want to play the Skelly Barrel here to where it'll distract the Baby Drag eventually. I think that Skelly Barrel should have been in the right lane because you needed something to distract that. Okay, so you know your opponent's graveyard. You cannot Mega Knight a graveyard. You want to use your Spear Gobs to defend graveyards, or sometimes Goblin Gang. But basically, you need to distract their tank the bridge. Ideally, you save your Inferno Dragon for this. You want to save your Inferno Dragon to get a lot of value. It kind of did because he sacrificed his bowler into it. But he needed to, if you think they're going to graveyard with it, you need to block it at the bridge so that they graveyard. And you don't want to do this every time because they'll predict it. But like that Skeleton Barrel either way should have been tanking the Baby Drag so it doesn't lock on the tower. That should have been in the right lane. And then instead of Mega Knighting here, I think he should have minored to distract the Baby Drag, and then he should have played Spear Gobs below his King Tower. This is even after he played Bats and they got poisoned right away. And then he should play Spear Gobs low because they're really good against Graveyard, and then Snowball so that he gets rid of the skeletons that have already built up. So that's what he should have done. Instead he Mega Knights here and then ends up Spear Gobbing the Baby Dragon. Look at, he's going to get down to like 1,000 HP on his tower. So he needs to defend Graveyards differently on that one. I don't hate the Inferno Dragon behind it, but I kind of think you want to save it. But I mean, this is good pressure. He just needs to make sure he surrounds Bats on this Xe. Okay, he does. His opponent had to use NATO. Ooh, this Inferno, like I said, this Inferno Dragon is getting a lot of value. He's leaking. He shouldn't have leaked there, and he shouldn't have wasted Spear Gobs. He needs to save him to defend Graveyard. I do like the high Inferno Drag though. He should pressure other lane right now. He should have pressured other lane. Because you're pushing into an Xe, it's going to get too much value. He should have, and his opponent's NATO was out of cycle. He should have went like minor Goblin Gang other lane. And then your opponent is forced to use Bowler if they can get back to it, but they didn't have NATO in cycle at the time. Or they had to use Knight and the Goblin Gang connects. You get chip either way. But you want to be split pushing with this deck because you never want to push into a NATO deck that has this much NATO value. As you can see, like this counter push is going to murder him and he has no answers. He needs a snowball probably. That's not terrible that he didn't, but he also doesn't, he should have waited on that. You don't want that to die. You want the Mega Knight to tank tower. But he should also be split pushing, because you don't want to push into a deck that has this much NATO value, because this deck loves to go same lane. I mean, it's gonna, like, even though you got the tower low, it's gonna be hard to finish it off. You need to be split pushing. He's giving way too much splash value here. You need to space stuff out. The Inferno Dragon should have been played a little bit higher, and he shouldn't have played Goblin Gang probably. That snowball maybe was a bit too early. Yeah, I think it was too early. I think he could have survived there. But mainly, he needed to split push more. He needed to defend differently, like I said. And he needs to not, like, you want to do kind of like small pushes with minor. And then just play minor safe spot. And then when you have those Mega Knight counter pushes and Inferno Drag counter pushes late in the game, once you already have some damage, you can start switching up the minor placements, and they're gonna have to choose. Well, basically, you only want to like switch up minor placements if they don't have King Tower activated. When you have bait troops that are counter pushing and they need to NATO that. So yeah. Anyway, that was still pretty close, and he started the game off really well. All right, so next, Ashley playing Pekka versus a weird deck with like Witch and like bait cards, some pressure cards too. Okay, so Ewiz versus a Furnace is fine. I think I would go Battle Ram in the back. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Okay, it's fine. I mean, you kind of want to pressure opposite side, but not really, because you're also kind of down to elixir from the E-Wiz. She needs to block, assuming it's a she. Named Ashley after all. The Dark Prince is fine. Probably like zap the Goblin Gang and then play a Bandit so that you don't allow their Bandit to dash. She played that a bit too late, the Bandit, but it will get a hit, so it could have been better though. She needs to E-Wiz low. You can't Pekka support troops. Don't Pekka support troops. Odds, I mean, in this situation, I don't think her opponent has a true win condition, but don't Pekka support troops. You have to E-Wiz low there. The only time I'll Pekka support troop is if I'm versus Golem. I know it's Golem, and they play like a Night Witch in the back. You can Pekka in the same lane in the back as that, because they have no, like, if they go Golem at the bridge, they're down 4 elixir, and then you can just, especially if you're playing the Fisherman version, you can just activate off of it. That Battle Ram, as I showed in my latest tip video, can actually be played where the Megaknight doesn't dash on it, so that could have happened. That could have, Oh, and I was saying E-Wiz the Prince, don't E-Wiz on top, E-Wiz low so that it stuns it. This is all kind of a result of the Pekka, I think. I did miss some of it because I was talking. But, not in a terrible situation, honestly. Can still win this. Need to understand that you're down on elixir, though, and you, like, for instance, don't defend this Goblin Gang. Because you're down, and I mean you're even if you don't defend it, and it wasn't gonna take your tower, so that was a good hold. She should poison this furnace when it happens. That's fine. You either battle ram in the back or you wait and see what they do. I almost think you wait there because you didn't really have an obvious play. E-Wiz into the same lane as a baby dragon would have been preferred. That was okay. But like E-Wiz is sitting duck when you leave in the lane by itself. You just have to let that battle ram get hit by the bandit. You should bandit this this prince. I don't know if you even needed the minions. Could have just bandited. E-Wiz low in the lane of the baby drag after you poisoned. Honestly, maybe Pekka that. Okay, I said not to Pekka support troops, but he hasn't shown a win condition. At this point, you're countering 7 elixir with the troops, and your Pekka's full HP. If you Pekka a Prince, the Pekka's taking a lot of damage, and it's 2 less elixir you're getting out of it. This Pekka's not terrible either, though. You got value out of the E-Wiz, and you Pekka it in front. That's not terrible. This is good opposite lane pressure, sort of. I don't know if I would have zapped that witch, because they can protect it. I think you were better off just resetting at that point. Play bandit low. No, bandit dash is always the answer versus Prince, unless, and then just switch up when they have zap. Just switch up the bandit placements. That E-Wiz honestly could have waited. You could have waited and used the zap damage on the witch. Poison the furnace. Could she have hit both? I don't think so. The minions weren't very good. You don't want a minions baby drag. Kind of just getting overwhelmed. I don't know, just small things with like troops, getting more value out of them. Getting more value out of troops using them better in defensive situations. I wish I could watch that again and like give more tips, but I think I gave a decent amount there. And then she asked for advice on beating Golem, and I kind of told her. Maybe I should say that low if you guys want to read. If you guys want to slow and read it, I gave both of them advice in chat. You can pause it if you want. We'll quickly go through that replay again since that's the last one. Alright, so E-Wiz in the back was fine. Could have played it a little bit higher, but that timing is kind of awkward. Battle Armor in the back was fine. I might as well just do it behind King Tower. I don't really. Takes a little bit longer that way instead of playing it there. The Dark Prince is fine here. For instance, she could have zapped like earlier here, and then I don't know. The zap could have been better, and then this bandit was too late. Right here, E was low. Look how low on elixir she is because she Pekka that. Like, look how behind she is, and it's not that hard to defend a Pekka with like a witch, for example. So that should have been an E-Wiz slow. Oh, I didn't even see this. That you can't poison that. You're already down. You can't poison that because now you're gonna have to zap it too. What he should do she should do here is she should... I don't even know, like, the zap for sure. I don't disagree with the battle ram, but the poison was bad. It was an overcommit for sure. And then also, I think what I would have done there is I would have minions the Mega Knight and then zapped the Witch. And then just let the Mega Knight connect, but you have a counter pushing. I don't know. Battle ram works, but I don't think you can battle ram when you're that low in elixir because you need to play something else on the Mega Knight, like your minions, and you couldn't in that situation because you're so down. And then, like I said, okay, so that was all a result of Pekka, and then the poison's over aggressive. Don't poison a Witch when you're down, and you should know you're down because you Pekka the Prince. And I think she was down before she Pekka the Prince too. Kind of just something you get a feel for, but you can watch your replays to get an understanding for that. I don't like that she didn't Pekka in the back. I mean, when she ended up going E-Wiz is unfortunate. Well, I would say don't cycle E-Wiz. It's better to cycle like a battle ram in the back than it is an E-Wiz. Or Bandit in the back. She didn't cycle Bandit nearly enough. Like, I think when you're unsure what to cycle, like right here, instead of cycling that battle ram, she should have cycled the Bandit. And then Bandit there is not bad. I don't think the minions were necessary though, I said that earlier. Right here, you can almost Pekka. I would say you can almost Pekka too because there's a Prince coming into it already. So actually, right here, it would have been a really good Pekka to just play it really low and then E-Wiz behind it to help kill the Prince when it comes. It would have gotten more value because like the exact same thing that just happened would have happened, except she didn't need to let her Dark Prince die for free. It could have just been a Pekka, and the Pekka would have had a similar amount of health. Zap against the Witch, not necessary. Should have just reset, I think. You didn't need to minions this baby drag. It was already dying. It was completely unnecessary to minions that. And then now you don't have elixir to defend the right side. If she had, she could have zapped Bandited the right side. So, not easy, but there's things she could have done. Alright, that'll be it for this video. It kind of went a little bit too long. Next video, I'm going to take less replays. Probably like 4 or 5 replays only. I also probably will try to go through them a little bit faster. I don't know. But let me know if you guys like this. And like I said, turn on the notifications if you want to possibly participate or get really lucky and be on YouTube right when I post a community post. So yeah, let me know what I could do in these videos and all that. And I will see you guys next time. Peace. Thank you for watching.